By the end of this video, you're gonna know if it's possible and if it's a good idea to buy a house from the Home Depot. Welcome to Real Estate Talk, where we talk about all things personal real estate and real estate investing. And Home Depot has everything you need to renovate a property and do a ton of DIY projects. But did they just create a monopoly by allowing you to buy these prefab tiny homes? Well, let's take a look at some examples and see what the cost is of buying one of these and should you even do it. So usually when you buy a house like the one behind me, you're gonna have to go through the whole process of finding an agent, getting pre-approved, finding the right location. I mean, all that stuff that comes with buying a new house. But there's one big problem with all of that. Usually the biggest problem is houses like this are going to cost you way more money than most people have. So with home prices over $400,000, what is someone to do? Well, that's where places like Home Depot and Amazon offer things like tiny homes and pre-built homes that are super inexpensive and relatively easy to build. Most of them are going to come pre-built and already ready to go. You just need the land. So let's head on inside and let's see if these houses are actually worth it and should you be buying one. Okay, so now that we're back in front of the computer, let's take a look at Home Depot's website and see what we can find. Okay, so this is going to be pretty simple. All we're going to do is we're just going to type in pre-built homes and let's see what comes up. Okay, so immediately these are nice. These are super modern. Like, look at this one. I mean, for $37,000, there's 10 available for delivery. I mean, that's not that bad for 320 square feet. That's honestly, that's pretty nice. Even something like this at 26, almost 27,000, not bad. I mean, if you want to get something a little bit bigger at, 1,000 square feet, still $87,000. That's not bad at all. Plus, it looks like it's a DIY assembly, so I'm not sure how DIY it is, but it looks like it could be. So for the sake of this example, let's look at this first one that is $38,000. So I mean, the pictures on this is super nice. I mean, it's real modern. Looks like it's got some nice open windows. So it looks like it has a lifetime limited warranty. It's all steel. So it looks like this is something, especially if you live in a place that has a lot of hurricanes or earthquakes, it looks like, according to the description, that it could be good for that. All right, now let's go back and let's look at, I'm just very curious about this one. It says it's a bungalow, 3 bed, 2 bath. I'm just curious about this one. Looks like it has a nice layout. I mean, this looks like a legit home that someone had custom built. This is nice. I mean, honestly, this looks like it's something. It says it's a DIY kit. So this could be something where you buy some land and you could do this yourself, saving you thousands of dollars. So with these pre-built homes, where can you put something like this? So honestly, all you need is a piece of land that is already zoned for residential real estate. And trust me, don't try going through the whole rezoning process. It could be a nightmare. So the key is to make sure that when you buy this piece of land, that when you set this pre-built house on top of this land, that the total value does not exceed what you could have just went out and bought something that's already existing. So if you buy a piece of land in your area for like $80,000 and you go out and you buy that $80,000 house, well, now you're in it for about 160 grand. Plus, you're gonna need a little extra for utilities and permits, things like that. You gotta get a sewer line, electricity. But if you can go out and buy that same square footage that looks very similar, brand new and modern, and it's the same price or maybe just a little bit expensive, it's not worth doing this. So now let's hop over back to the computer and let's try to find some land at a good, decent price. So as you can see in my area, there is a lot of land for sale. So our goal is to try to find something that's maybe around $50,000 to $70,000, because when we drop this home onto it, we don't want it to exceed 160, because I know in the area I can get something brand new at that square footage for about 190. So right off the bat, we find two pieces of land, one that looks like to be almost 33 acres, and then one that's a little bit more manageable at 1.2 acres. Personally, I'd go with the 1.2 because 32 acres can be a lot to handle and maintain. And if we scroll down just a little bit more, you can see there's one for 70,000, one a little bit more expensive, but it looks like it's next to some water. So that could be something you look at. Here's one for 45,000. 65,000. So out here, there's tons of options of buying land that's already meant for residential use. But then once you buy this land, you then need to make sure you can get utilities to it. You need to call the water company to get sewage out there, water lines. You need to call the electric company to get electricity. Now, all that is going to require permitting and could cost you, yes, another $10,000 to $20,000. Now, I know people are going to ask the question, but are these homes from Home Depot any good? Well, from the research that I've done, looking at other people who have built these and used them, there's mixed reviews. Some people say, yes, they're good. Some people say, no, they're not so good. But here's the trade-off. You're getting something that is pre-built that is a DIY, essentially something that you can do yourself. It's going to save you a ton of money. And if money is the one thing that you're trying to save, because let's all face it, right now home prices are crazy, then yes, this is the route that you could potentially go. So then that leads to the final question of, is it worth it and should you actually do it? Well, if you're that type of person that I just mentioned, where you think you have the time and you want to save a lot of money, then absolutely you should try it. And because these things come with warranties, then yes, definitely you should be safe and fine to try. And when you compare it to something that's already built, something that may be 15, 20 years old, that's going to cost you an arm and a leg. The average home price, like I said, is 400 something thousand dollars. This could easily set you back, 100, maybe 200 grand, depending on what area you live in. If you live in an area where land is a little bit more expensive, sure, it can cost you more, but it's definitely not going to cost you anywhere near what you're going to have to pay for something existing. And now, look, I know that this route is not for everybody. Some people, they just simply want to buy a house. They don't want to have to worry about all this. They want to make sure the house that they buy is in good condition. They don't overpay. And if that's you, then click on this video right here to learn how to buy your dream home.